Did you know that the greatest outpourings and awakenings in revival history were preceded by a prayer movement? By a people who were in intercession for their communities, for their region, for their cities, for their nation. For example, the great evangelical revival in England led by John Wesley and George Whitefield. This great revival was preceded by a 24/7 prayer movement led by the Moravian group. The Moravians launched a around-the-clock prayer movement for around 100 years. This around-the-clock prayer movement was what really was the engine for the first Great Awakening and also ignited the Protestant missionary movement, which influenced John Wesley. Or how about the Welsh revival led by the young miner Evan Roberts? This great revival was led by a young, passionate man who burned in intercession for his community. Can I tell you that this revival was birthed from a youth who burned for revival, a youth who prayed and interceded for their community. And the Welsh revival is what actually influenced the Azusa Street revival in Los Angeles, which is what birthed the Pentecostal movement. Little did these young people know that their prayers would launch their community into revival, and not only that, but also influence the Azusa Street revival. Can I tell you that God is looking for the intercessors? God is looking for those who are willing to stand in the gap for their territory, stand in the gap for their city, for the community, for their sphere of influence, for their workplace. Isaiah 62 describes this perfectly. Isaiah describes where the watchmen are placed on those walls and they don't rest, reminding God so that He can display His glory. His will would be done on earth. Unity. There's something powerful when the believer comes together in perfect unity, in one accord. We can see this in the book of Acts, in the day of Pentecost. This is the perfect example of this unity and the catalytic power that unity is in the Spirit. Acts 2:1 says, "And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place." They were all together in unity, in prayer, in obedience to what Jesus told them, waiting in that upper room for the Holy Spirit to empower them, for them to go in action and share the gospel in Jerusalem, in Judea, in Samaria, and then into all the earth. This is Jesus' desire. John 17:21 says that they may all be one, as you, Father, are in me, and I in you, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that you sent me. If you're seeing this, maybe your heart is stirring for the lost, for your city, for nations, your nation. Maybe you even want to be mobilized into sharing the gospel. As your heart is burning to be a part of what the Lord is doing today, let me invite you to Win the City's 12-week prayer initiative. We're going to be in Park West Church in the prayer room, and we're going to be praying for our city. We're going to be in intercession. We are going to be hearing the Holy Spirit into what He is speaking into our territory. We are an evangelism ministry who mobilizes believers, but before we sprint out into the streets, let me tell you that that place of prayer in unity and in intercession is where the victories are obtained. So come and be a part of what God is doing in this very crucial time on earth. You were born for such a time as this. The Lord put you on this earth for this specific moment in time. And we don't want you to miss of being part of what the Lord is doing in His story, in His kingdom. Be a mouthpiece, be an intercessor, be a watchman on the wall, and proclaim the victory of the Lord, win the battles, that we may see His glory outpoured in our city, in our region, in our nation, that we may be lighthouses everywhere we go, carrying His glory, that we may see His kingdom established on earth. Hope to see you there.